Hello, everyone, and welcome to this podcast about Canada. Canada is a country known for its natural beauty, diverse population, and love of sports. Let's start with Canadian culture. One of the defining features of Canadian culture is its multiculturalism. Canada is home to people from all over the world, and this diversity is reflected on its food, music, and art. Some famous Canadian cultural icons include the group of 7 artists, the writer Margaret Atwood, and the musician Drake.
Now, let's talk about Canadian sports. Hockey is often considered Canada's national sport, and it's not hard to see why. Canadians are passionate about their hockey, and it's a huge part of the country's identity. Other popular Canadian sports include curling, basketball, and lacrosse. Canada has also produced many successful athletes, including sprinter Donovan Bailey, figure skater Tessa Virtue, and basketball player Steve Nash.
Another important part of Canadian culture is the food, and here we have some samples of curious dishes for you to try. So let's start with
poutine. It is a simply traditional fast food from Canada, elaborated with French fries, fresh grain cheese, and meat sauce. To prepare it, you just need to cut up the cheese and add it to the fries. Eventually, you drop some meat sauce above it.
Canadian people also have croutons, which is a Canadian meat spread which consists of ground pork, lard, breadcrumbs, and milk. The croutons is traditionally produced in Quebec. Its texture is fatty, creamy, and tender, and it is often served for breakfast with toasts. The most curious one is the turducken, which is made of deboned turkey, deboned duck, and deboned chicken rolled into one and stuffed with 3 different stuffings between the 3 types of meat. And lastly, beaver tail, which is a sweet, flat, and thin Canadian pastry made from whole wheat flour. This dough is hand-stretched and shaped to look like a beaver's tail, one of the national Canada symbol. Then it is fried on canola oil and smothered with butter and a lot of different toppings.
Another example is tourtière. It is a kind of traditional Canadian meatloaf that is considered original from Quebec. People from Quebec usually eat it on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, but it can be found in stores all year round. Tourtière is made with 2 basic ingredients, bread dough and meat. Generally, is made with pork meat or cow meat as well. You just need to put the dough into a tray and put the cooked milk inside of it. Next, you recover the top with some more dough and put it on the oven for a couple of hours.
Hi, my name is Delia and I'm going to talk about a little bit of history. Indigenous people were the first ones who settled down in Canada. A few years later, the Europeans arrived at this country, and then British and French people settled down in Canada. They started to explore it, and finally they began to colonize Canada. British people got most of Canada, but French people conquered a small piece of the country, which is Quebec. Nowadays, Canada's capital is Ottawa. It is a separated state, although it belongs to the Commonwealth.